Well, hey, what's up? Welcome back to the studio slash office. It's been a while since we've been in here, but today we've got a special video with all of the drama with Canon and Sony, R5 overheating. I just said screw it. I canceled my pre-order. I sold my Jeep and I bought a C500 Mark II. Well, my name is Tony and I'm a filmmaker photographer in the St. Louis area, and truth is I did not sell my Jeep. I sold my wife's car. No, just kidding. I'm a filmmaker, like I said, and we've got a couple really big projects coming up in the next few week. And so what I want to do is just kind of show you this camera that we rented for a couple days. And we always rent our gear a little bit early. One, so it comes in and we don't ever have to worry about it. But two, with a camera, specifically one that I've never used before, I like to spend some time and really just use the camera and get to know it before the shoot, so that I'm not trying to figure out some of those things and potentially ruin the footage. If it's all overexposed or underexposed because it handles differently than other cameras, then I am in trouble. So I need to know my gear before I go into it, and so that is what's happening today. So what I've done is last night went over to my friend's house and I just shot some B-roll, just getting used to the camera. So I'll tell you about the setup and then we'll go from there. First of all, we used the C500 Mark II. This thing is a beast. I didn't use any stabilization. I did play around with the digital IS because I've heard that it's really cool. And then the only lens that I used was the 85mm f1.4 IS. Other than that, that is all I used for this B-roll segment, and I put it together, and I figured, why not show it to you? I wanted to see how it color graded, I wanted to see how it looked, how it exposed, and then kind of go from there. So, let's watch the video. Here we go. Well, after spending some time in the computer with this footage, I am in love with this camera. It handles so well for the color grading that I like to do. And I think I got a good idea of how to expose this camera. And it's just different than a C100, a C200, which is what we're used to using. And we wanted that full frame look, which is what the C500 has. And we also needed the low light capacity because we're going to be shooting around a campfire in the evening, kind of dusk area, so I wanted to test that out, which is why that footage looked like it did. So first initial thoughts, just to let you know, I did not cancel my R5 pre-order. I'm excited about that camera, and I know it's still getting tons of negative press, but for me, I think it's gonna fit right in that niche. And so if you've watched Gerald Dunn, or if you watch Maddie Poya, you know, they're kind of figuring it out that, you know, this really is a photo first camera, and then it does have some excellent video qualities, which for me fits perfectly. And if I need a camera that is very high capacity video, I'm gonna be looking at a cinema camera. So, which is really cool because Canon is actually, there's some rumors going around that they're gonna be releasing another cinema camera here with an RF mount, which is my biggest complaint about all of the cine cameras right now, is I can't use these lenses that I have spent so much money on. And so I'm excited about that. But let's talk about the C500 and my first initial impressions. Right off the bat, I've noticed that this thing is a little bit bigger than the C200, but it's very familiar to the whole Canon ecosystem. And what I mean by that is I can pick up the C200 and run through it. I know the menu system backwards and forwards, and so I was a little worried when I got to the C500 Mark II if it was going to have that same feeling and I was going to be able to navigate the way that I was used to. And good point is that it is able to do that. The view screen is touchscreen. It's very similar to the C200 in that aspect. The menu system is very familiar to me. The button structure on the outside of the camera is very similar, maybe a little bit different. One feature that I am very excited about with the C500 is the buttons are backlit. So you can actually see what you're doing in dark scenarios, which is like all the time when you're shooting video. So that's a really big feature. And everything just kind of goes together just like if I was using a beefed up C200, which is what we typically shoot with. So very exciting. Then once I get in and I film and do everything that I need to and kind of figure out how to expose and how it handles rolling and how the IS works in the camera, all of those kind of features, I get it into post-processing, and I just love color grading this thing. It just looks so good. My computer, I've got a 27-inch 5K iMac. It's kind of old, it's 2017, but it's the hyper-threaded i7. So, I mean, it chewed through it absolutely no problem. I didn't have any trouble with the XF AVC format. I didn't shoot in RAW because I just figured that's a little overkill. And after watching a bunch of videos, a lot of people say that they really like the XF AVC format better than even the RAW to kind of work with. So I shot in just a regular codec, and my computer handled it just fine. So lots of cool things with this camera. I'm gonna have it, like I said, for the next few days, and we're gonna be doing some shoots. So if you've got a question about this incredibly expensive camera that you would like to see, how does it pair with maybe the EOS R? You know, a camera that's a tenth the price of what it is. Could you match footage fairly well? You know, maybe we'll do that in a future video. If you've got other questions about menu settings or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know so that I can test this out for you while we have it. This is a powerful camera, and I do not think that most people need this. This is a pretty high-end camera, and I think it was maybe Gerald Dunn said, this is the best camera underneath an Alexa Mini or Alexa LF. I don't remember which one he said, but you know, just shy of 50 grand, this is the best camera you can use. So it's not a camera for everybody, but I am glad that we're getting the chance to rent it and play with it and get to use some of the footage for projects that we have coming up this coming week. So, alright guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. We talk all about camera stuff, specifically Canon. I'm a little bit of a fanboy, you can call me out, because Canon works for me. I know the systems, I know how it works, and to introduce other cameras, it's just It just doesn't make sense for me. But if you shoot on Sonys, if you shoot on Panasonics, we talk a lot about tutorial kind of tips and how-tos and technique and all of that stuff. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm guaranteeing you're gonna learn some stuff. So hang out with us. Other than that, find me on Instagram, and we'll see you in the next video.